So we're waking up to news today about China tariffs. And I'm going to talk about the tariffs. We're going to talk about data from past sell-offs that we've had and to see what happens after. I'm going to talk about the VIX. And I'm going to talk about my own trade that I'm taking during this time. So what is the news that we're waking up to this morning? So China is saying that on this morning that they're going to have a 34% tariff on all goods imported from the United States starting on April 10th. There was also other information on that they were going to be not allowing some businesses in China. I saw that somewhere. Yes, 11 U.S. firms to the unreliable entities list. So they're blocking some U.S. companies. So look at what's happened since then. This is that news, and the market is down. It dropped about almost 200 points following that news. So clearly the market did not like that. But let's look at past sell-offs and talk about what might come of this. One thing I want to point out is that yesterday, April 3rd, this was actually the second largest point drop in history. So the only time the market has fallen more in terms of total worth, total value, was during COVID. Only one day beat yesterday. So yeah, yesterday was actually a very large sell-off in terms of total value. On a percentage terms, on less than 5%. So still significant, but that doesn't make the top 20 in percentage terms. So here's the largest daily percentage losses, and yesterday's not on that list. But as far as total value lost, yesterday was second in history. So let's look at some of these other days. COVID, so March 16th, 2020. Well, let's look at, so if we come over here, March, what are the largest daily point gains? Well, we have, there's March 26th, there's April 6th, 2020, there's March 24th. There's several days following these large sell-offs that ended up being the largest gains in history. I can probably find more examples. So here's the third largest sell-off in history, March 12th, 2020. The largest point gain ever was the next day. All right. So this is on Wikipedia, largest point changes or largest percentage changes. So look this up. It's really interesting to look at. What are the largest gains in history? They follow the largest losses in history. So let's pull up the VIX. We've been talking about that. The VIX is now over 35. If you've been following me, I've been saying that once the market gets above 35 in the VIX, then computers, hedge funds, they catch on to that 35, and then that's when they start to look to buy. I have a video that I just made a couple days ago about that, and I think it's titled like how to buy the dip or when to buy the dip. So watch that, and it'll talk about the VIX. So this morning when I got up, I did go ahead and place a limit order to buy. It's just one micro contract, and I was hoping to get filled here. Missed it by eight points, but I think the market might have a little bit more down, and we'll be able to get filled there. So what's my plan with this kind of trade? How do you actually manage these kinds of trades? Well, from what we had studied when looking at the VIX, a lot of the times that next day, once the VIX hits 35, that next day buyers come in, and buyers will come in for two or 3 weeks after that. Other cases were that there were 1 or 2 more days sideways to down. And then after that, then we had buyers for a week or two. Or sometimes it was much more than a week or two. But so how I would be managing this trade is I'm going to buy here with 1 micro. And my profit target will be 250 points. So I'd be buying up to 45.50. So it'd be like a scalp on like a monthly chart, right? I'm taking like a very large scalp. And what if the market continues down? Well, it's just one micro contract. So a 1,000-point drop would be $5,000. My plan would be at 4,500. I would be buying another micro contract. If it goes down to 4,000, I'm buying another micro contract. And even with significant drops, like down to 4,000 or less, that's not going to hit my account hard enough so that I would need to be like exiting. There's not a scenario here where I would have to like rush out and get scared out and get forced out of my position. So to me, this is a logical scalp. It's like a scalp on like a weekly chart, basically. What happens when these tariffs are hitting the economy, and what is Powell and the FOMC going to say when the economy is starting to get hurt? They're going to say, well, we need to lower interest rates. What do lower interest rates do to the stock market? They move the stock market up. What happens when we do have some positive news on tariffs? Let's say some deals have been made, some agreement. Not a full removal of tariffs, but someone somewhere is saying, we foresee tariffs being removed in the future. That would be bullish for the stock market. So we kind of have those two things that will happen at some point, and we know that's going to be bullish, and then that would push the market up. And to me, I think most significantly, it's just looking at the VIX and looking at this sell-off that we've had. Why do people start buying when the VIX gets above 35? It's because that's implying that the market has fallen too far too fast. And I know I always teach don't want to fight against the trend, but this is kind of a unique situation where it's likely that buyers will start to buy this dip. It's going to be around, we're going to be around a 20% pullback. That's around, it's going to be around 5,000 is about a 20% pullbacks. People start buying around that 20% interval. People buy once the VIX gets to 35. And like I said, I can trade small enough and so that my account is not in danger. It's the risk is actually going to be no more than any other trade that I would take. So it's so those are the reasons why it makes sense for me to be able to buy even though the market is strongly bearish. I'll leave this order on. Pretty sure the market's still going to have a little bit lower, even though I'm actually bullish in this scenario. I think we'll still probably get down here. So we're so close to 5,200, and at that kind of a round number, we're that close to it. It'll probably try to get back down there. So I'm going to just leave my order on. I'm not going to try to like chase it up here and buy 100 points higher, because like I said, I was going to scalp out for 250. So 100 points higher would be almost half of my scalp size. So I'm not going to, if it just goes straight up, I'm not going to buy. But if it goes a little bit lower here, then I'm fine having my buy be down here. You can see how the VIX has moved down as the stock market has moved up. And this is a little delayed. I think it's about 20 minutes delayed from Yahoo Finance. So it's probably even lower than where it is right there. And so it's just kind of a demonstration of the relationship of the two. So we can see the market started falling and the VIX went up. Then the market started pulling back, and then the VIX pulled back as well. So I'm not going to wait all day for this video trade to get filled. But if it goes down to 5,200 today, then you'll know that I got filled, and I'll post the screenshot there. So I shared my plan of how I'll manage that. And that's probably the most important part is the plan. I kind of know what I'm going to do going into it. I'm not just kind of recklessly taking a trade and hoping it'll work out. I know what I'm going to do and where I'll take profits and how I'll manage it. So that's an important part of it. All right. Hope you guys, and this will be an interesting day. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. So this will be important. Are bulls able to buy this up and create a tail on the bottom of the weekly chart? Or can bears close strongly? And then this ends up being a very bearish week. So that'll be interesting to see. And we'll see what happens. And check out the Discord. I'll try to keep posted on there some of what my thoughts are. And I'd already posted on there this morning. I posted here about 7:20 what the news was, why the market was going down, and about the VIX being over 35 as well. So any key news, I'll try to put it on here as soon as I hear it. Okay, guys, thank you for watching.